When the rain falls, we pull out our umbrellas. We don't want to get wet. Out in the wild outdoors, though, many animals come out the woodwork. Both prey and predator come out to play. These rainy conditions were ideal for the Bajan TV team, who relished the idea of trying to get to know the creatures of the rain a little better. So we left from our location being somewhat upbeat about what laid ahead of us in the wild outdoors of Barbados. One of the first creatures we came across was the Barbados tropical racer, better known as the Bajan grass snake. This animal is a very elusive creature that camouflages itself very well both from possible predators and prey. We had a very difficult time in locating this creature, as the bush and brambles and so on gave a good cover. It was very, very difficult to actually pinpoint the Bajan grass snake. Nevertheless, we pressed on. We were looking under every piece of log, every piece of stick, to see if we can locate this very elusive creature. To us, everything looked like a grass snake. The Barbados tropical racer, or grass snake, is a very remarkable animal. It can change its color to suit its environment. This helps the animal to go undetected by both prey and predator. But the Bajan TV team was not about to give up. We pressed on, hoping to find that very elusive Barbados tropical racer, or as we call here in Barbados, the grass snake. It was at this time that the Bajan TV team saw some movement and headed in the direction where we thought that we saw this grass snake. These creatures move so quickly that if you can't keep up, you will not get any footage of them whatsoever. It was at this time that we caught a glimpse of the tail part of the snake, and it seemed as though his head and the rest of his body was in the hole of a block. But if you look very carefully, you will see part of the snake there hanging out. To the untrained eye, it might look like a piece of a twig, but we knew for sure that it was a grass snake. If you take a look at this tool here, you can see exactly where its head is. And if you watch carefully, you'll see that it will slither away and disappear from our view. There you go, you see the tail. Oh, it's gone. But we did not give up. We continued because we knew that there was another grass snake out there, another tropical racer out there that was just waiting for us to videotape it. Again, we found this burned out tree trunk with some bush and so on around it, and this was great cover for the grass snake, because again, this is something that will blend nicely into, and prey or predator will not be able to detect it. This snake is a species of colobrid snake found in the Caribbean. It's a native of St. Vincent and Grenada. This snake reaches about 830 millimeters. It is normally blue gray to brown with lighter lateral stripes. And that day was our lucky day because staring us right in front of our faces was the tropical racer, right there on the trunk of the tree. There it goes, right there. And these snakes feed mainly on lizards and frogs. And when we tried to get a little closer, the snake said, "No, too close for comfort," and he was out of there. The next creature we came across was the green-throated carib hummingbird. And these creatures are magnificent. They're colorful, and the way they fly, oh, it's awesome. The green-throated carib hummingbird is a species of bird found throughout the Caribbean. At times it was extremely difficult to film this awesome creature because when we got too close, it flew away, and this bird doesn't keep steady. Probably when it's feeding, it's very, very, very busy. And if you look there in the distance, you can see the hummingbird doing the things that hummingbirds do, flying from flower to flower, keeping very, very, very busy. As I've said before, this particular species of hummingbird can be found throughout the Caribbean. It is found in Antigua and Dominica, St. Vincent, Puerto Rico, Barbados, and the Virgin Islands, particularly throughout the Lesser Antilles. And of course, we can't forget Trinidad, the land of the hummingbirds. These creatures live in a variety of habitats, including wet forests and semi-deciduous woodlands. These creatures have hearts that beat over 1,200 times per minute and wings that beat over 70 times a second in normal flight. They fly by rotating their entire wings, which allows them to hover and fly backwards. Their favorite foods, nectar and tiny insects. And the next creature of the rain that we came across was the big-headed ant. And in some parts of the world, this big-headed ant is confused with the fire ant. But in fact, these ants are the predator of the fire ant queen. These big-headed ants, they have two sizes of workers. The major workers have large heads in proportion to the rest of their bodies. These creatures usually nest in the soil in protected locations such as under rocks and logs. They are considered a major predator, as I said before, of the fire ant queens. These ants often trail alongside sidewalks and sides of buildings. And if we look closely, we can see an ant a big-headed ant taking some food back to its nest. Okay. And these ants are remarkable creatures in terms of teamwork. And I mean, sometimes they lift things that are 3-4 times their size. Okay, but teamwork is crucial. Here we can see the entrance to the nest, and we can see some ants taking some food in. And as we can see, these ants are extremely busy. They're always on the move. And if you look very carefully, you can see those major worker ants that have those large heads. And here we have another ant with some food, taking it, moving very, very quickly back to the nest. And as we were filming the ants, our eyes caught hold. Our cameras caught hold of this bee. and he was not flying, he was walking. And we came to the conclusion that he was hurt somewhere along the line. He was damaged because he was unable to fly. And we knew that soon and very soon, once he crossed the path of those ants, that there were going to be some fireworks. So we waited patiently and we followed the bee. We knew that this bee was on his last stretch. Even when he walked, he was falling. And we knew it was going to be over sooner or later. And our prediction came through. The bee finally fell into the hands of its enemy. And they were relentless. They called for backup. And the ants just came out of the woodwork. I mean, I've never seen anything like this. They were relentless on this bee. And what they are really trying now to do is to move the bee, because they're going to take him into their nest. And I mean, I've seen situations where ants have literally cut up insects when they were too big for the entrance of their nest. They literally cut them to pieces so that they can fit in. I mean, these ants are amazing creatures. Here we can see another major worker taking some food back to the nest, and I wonder what he'll say or what he'll do when he sees all the activity by the entrance of the nest. Maybe he'll throw away his food and help the others. Let's see. I guess not. The more, the merrier. As the backup and reinforcements came, they were now in a position to move the bee to the entrance of the nest. And as you can see, there are a lot of ants, thousands of them. Okay, and they have actually moved the bee, and they're going to take it now, and they're going to bring it down through the entrance. And these creatures are remarkable. They're awesome. There you go. And as I said before, I've seen instances where these ants cut insects to pieces just to get them to fit through the entrance of the nest. But I think that this one is going to go in easily. There's not going to be any door jams. Yes, and that's what I mean. Yeah, a little bit to the left. Oh, to the right, to the right, to the right. To the left again, to the right. Yes. Yes, I think that's it now. Just push, push. Yeah, that's it, that's it. Push some more. Yeah, that's it, that's it. You're almost there. And here we have another bee that suffered the same fate as his brother or sister or maybe cousin. And these ants are relentless. And hey, they're going to have two bees to supper. They're going to have a great feast. They're going to sit down at a table. And they're going to cut up that bee. And every little ant is going to get a piece. After looking at the ants, our eyes laid hold of some snails that were feasting on some leaves. I know this was not the African giant snail, but it was the Ashatina zebra snail, which is fairly common to Barbados, and it is just one of the many species of snails found on the island. These animals are mainly nocturnal, but when the temperature is right, you can see them in their numbers. And of course, you can see where they got their name from, zebra. And their shells are not there just for decoration, but they're there to protect them, to protect these snails from predators like birds and so on. Snails have both male and female reproductive organs and can lay as much as 40 spherical fertilized eggs. After a month, small replica snails hatch out and the shell enlarges as they grow. And as you can see here, one of these snails is making its way up after a downpour, because of course it's going to go up there and it's going to feed on the leaves of this particular plant. And as you can see here close up, you can see the snail feeding. And of course, these animals have the ability to draw their heads back into their shells whenever they feel threatened. And even though these animals are slow movers, they can do a lot of damage to crops, and hence to some farmers these are pests, particularly the African, the giant African snail. And while filming the snail, we came across one of the wonders of the world, the praying mantis. And this creature, of course, acquired its name from the manner in which it holds up the fore part of its body with its large front legs held together as though in a praying position. And when the rain falls, these creatures come out in their numbers, obviously to feed on other smaller insects, but sometimes the predator becomes the prey. The adults are usually between 1.5 and 3 inches and are green or brown in color. Their color change to adapt to their environment. They have ultrasound hearing similar to bats. They eat insects such as mosquitoes, flies, moths, butterflies, and crickets. They normally sit and wait patiently for their prey to come close enough to reach out and grab it. Their front legs are equipped with sharp spines that are used to grab and hold the prey. And from the praying mantis, we went to the pancake slug. And these creatures are mainly nocturnal, but as I said, when the temperature is right, when the rain is falling, you can see them, they come out in their numbers. And of course, they're called pancake slugs because of their flattened appearance. They seem to be indigenous to Barbados and are variable in color, ranging from a cream to a gray, and are usually covered with markings of different shades of gray on their backs. In the wild, these slugs like to hide under logs, rocks, and sometimes in the soil. This is mainly because these places provide shade from the sun and protect them from the heat. These creatures are more often seen at night or after a steady shower of rain. Snails feed on a variety of vegetation found in Barbados. And because of this, these creatures have become pests in some instances, causing thousands of dollars in crop damage. While to us here in Barbados, this animal might be a pest, in other parts of the world, people actually keep these creatures as pets. They don't seem to have a lot of predators in Barbados. Most birds tend to keep away from them. And here we see a millipede and a slug. And what is interesting about this video footage is that at first we thought the slug was actually part of the plant. But on closer examination, we realized that it was indeed a slug. But it blended in so well. This means that the pancake slug has the ability to blend into the environment to protect itself from predators. As we continue on, we of course came across a millipede, and if you live in Barbados, you must know what a millipede is. It's that creepy crawly thing that is probably the next hated thing after the centipede. Millipedes are arthropods that have two pairs of legs for each segment except the segment just behind the head. The name millipede is taken from the Latin word milli, which means 1,000, and ped, meaning foot. But millipedes do not actually have 1,000 feet, but typically have 80 to 400. They eat decaying leaves and other dead plant matter from fruits and vegetables. These creatures are primarily active at night or after a steady shower of rain, and they burrow tunnels through the dirt. And generally when feeding, they moisten the food with secretions and then scrape it in with their jaws. In our part of the world, here in Barbados, they are seen as a nuisance, but in other places, they are kept as pets. Of course, there are more than one species of millipede in Barbados. And here we have the yellow-banded millipede. And from my research, it seems as though that this particular type of millipede originated in the Caribbean. According to researchers, this creature is harmless. Generally speaking, millipedes have few predators, birds and so on will stay away from them. But I have seen the remains of millipedes in frog stool, thus saying to me that frogs do eat them. The yellow-banded millipede is normally brownish in color with yellow bands. It has some reddish legs, and they grow to a maximum length of 4 inches. They may range from 1 to 4 inches, but they don't get any longer than that. As we continue on, another creature that we came across was the blackbird. Okay, and there are many different varieties of these creatures all over the world. Blackbirds are resident breeders in the Lesser Antilles and in certain parts of South America. They feed on insects and earthworms taken from the ground, either by probing the ground or from turning over leaf litter with its bill. Blackbirds, they come out in their numbers after the rain, because they know very well that when the rain falls, other insects and other creatures come out. And when you see them on the leaves of trees and plants and so on, they are searching for food. They're probing because they're hoping to find something nourishing to eat. These creatures can be found all over Barbados, in trees, on plants, and everywhere you go in Barbados you find blackbirds, and they're all around us. And I think that they're probably, in terms of the bird population, I think that they're probably the most. Blackbirds are some bold creatures. In my experience, I've seen blackbirds attack monkeys, cows, and even people. I've seen them run little children in cases where their eggs were broken, or their hatchlings were destroyed. I've seen blackbirds attack people. So they're very bold creatures. If they feel threatened, they will attack. They eat earthworms, they eat butterflies, they eat the praying mantis, they eat caterpillars. And I cannot imagine life in Barbados without the blackbird. On mornings when you hear that chirping song, you look outside, you know that there are a set of blackbirds in the area. These are indeed some awesome creatures. And when we were finished with the blackbirds, we turned our attention to the lizards, because after the rain, these creatures, they also come out because they feed on flies and other smaller insects as well. But they are also prey to much larger predators. And they too have the ability to camouflage themselves so that they go undetected both to their prey and to their predators. And if you look carefully, you'll see one of them here on the branch of this tree, probably waiting patiently for that insect to come along to pounce on it. And I've realized in Barbados in recent times there are a variety of different species of lizards, and here you can see one here on this this branch, and I've been told that these lizards actually eat the one that you saw earlier. These lizards probably came on lumber, or maybe they were pets that got away. But one thing that I can say about them is that they move extremely fast.